Welcome on in to Reading Between the Wines. It's Wine Down Wednesday, Wine Wednesday. Please, if you are out there, please go ahead and like, comment, share, tag, do whatever you need to do to invite your friends into Reading Between the Wines. So we have a very special guest tonight, Miss Liz Cross. Hopefully I am pronouncing your name properly, but when we get her live on, you can clear up anything that I mess up. But welcome on in. So tonight we are sampling some Cabernet, La Finca Cabernet. So also I just wanted to let you know that in case the connectivity, we have issues, sometimes that happens, but keep our fingers crossed. We are going to have a great show tonight, minus any type of connectivity issues, whatever I saw. There were some issues in the beginning, but hopefully everything goes through. Again, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, D Live, Twitch, and Daily Motion. So typically, Instagram is the leader when it comes to having a clear, you know, precise show. Sometimes it's YouTube. So for those of you out there, or people soon to come, people watching a replay, just bounce around and pick whatever works for you. And also give me some of that feedback as well. Drop it in the comments and let me know as I continue to work through, most of these things that we got going on here. So La Finca Oak Age Sauvignon. Cabernet Sauvignon. The vineyards of La Finca lie in the foothills of Argentine Andes. Deep red color with sweet peppers aroma. Its luscious the berry fruit on the middle of the palates, and its wonderful soft texture and finish is inviting. This wine has been aged in oak barrels for 3 months. This is a wine to enjoy with beef, which I will absolutely not do, lamb dishes, which I will absolutely not do, and mature cheeses, which that's a whole nother story, which we'll get into. Some of the worst cheeses that I've ever tasted in my life, but I'm just gonna keep it quiet at this moment. But that's this bottle here of La Finca Cabernet Sauvignon. So I was watching something and somebody was talking about cheeses and a specific type of cheese. And I remember tasting some cheese that was absolutely horrendous, and I won't do it again. So I understand where that was coming. That's the whole cheese thing. I think I was watching Chrisley's Knows Best or something like that, and they were, playing around with the wine and the cheese. So anyway, so I just got to keep it real. There's no way that I possibly come out here and not keep it real. So that's just not me. So I go back and forth. I actually had the opportunity to come live tomorrow, and I actually went ahead and rescheduled my guest to come on Friday. So we were doing freestyle sessions with a special guest Friday. I would not have been myself if I came out here yesterday and, faked the funk and went through the regular routine journey. That's just not me, and it wouldn't have worked well. And I wouldn't have come across authentic and real like I know I am and I know how to be. So we basically got some stuff coming Friday. So just stay tuned for that. But I had to take it back to the My Life album and the My Life era. And people understand that when it's music and what I'm dealing with. And when I bring, my girl Mary, it's some real shit. And that's just how it basically is and how I have to say it. So I don't ever want anybody for any moment to ever think that, oh, Laren has it all together and Laren is good. He's out here every single night, giving people some inspirations and writing books and telling people, what it's like to break through. As I'm still continuing to go through my breakthrough, I'm still learning, each and every day who I am, what my worth is, what my value is. Some days are better than others. But for those of you who look up to me, and I know that there are some people who don't want any good for me, and I understand that too. There also are people out there who try to take from me as I continue to rebuild, because I'm on a rebuilding stage. So even as I've been knocked down, put myself down, and now I'm building myself up, I still have to be very careful of certain people that I have to stay away from. I've invited people into my world that I probably shouldn't. Places I probably should not go to, some of these places. And now, I had some time to self-reflect, and maybe it is time to, shut some of these windows down, close some of these windows, and shut some of these doors. And maybe I shouldn't be so open the way I am right now at this moment. So many different things go through my life. So if you look at my life and see, I seen, maybe you have no idea, and you probably really wouldn't even understand what goes on. And just remember at the end of the day that I can't see anything that you see. I'm on a totally different side of the game right now. So whatever you see, people like, yo, Laren, this is this and this is that. I like this. I like that. I want to say thank you so much for all of the words of encouragement. But sometimes there are some days where I can't see what you see, and I go through it, and I have to continue to build myself up, because I know that, guess what? If ain't nobody else gonna do it, who's gonna do it? So I have to continue to push myself and lift myself up, because I remember all of the people that did the 180 on me. There are times where people will come through and do the 180 and turn their back on me. Listen, they did it to Jesus. Why wouldn't they do it to me? So I need to get it together. Who do I think that I am? So when people do the 180 on me, it's time for me to go into beast mode and do what I need to do and push myself and rise myself to the top. And as doing so, I will continue to push and pull and move, some of the people out there who's on the same playing field with me. And I just say, please surround me by like-minded people that want to go through this same journey and go through the same process with me, so that, I know who I'm talking to. I don't want to be speaking to somebody who's looking at me different because they made it and they don't understand what it was like to come up. I want someone who understands and says, Laren, I got you. I feel you. We're going to move, and I'm going to pull you, and I'm here for you. So those are the type of people that I want around me, because sometimes we might have to play these records again. I went back to 1994 just to be able to break through and make it through tomorrow. Set my day up today for tomorrow. So if that means I got to go back to the My Life album and listen to certain things and understand what I've been through, that's what I have to do. But I need people around me who can understand that. And I hope that people who can understand that stick around. And those of you, if it's not for you, I totally understand that. And we all know what it's like to disconnect, unsubscribe, and do whatever you need to do. I never want to push my stuff off on somebody who wants nothing to do with it. And it is what it is. And that's it. This is some real stuff here tonight. And my special guest is going to fall right in, and we're going to have some great conversations around this here. So with that being said, I want to say thank you so much to the people out there who truly, really support the 411 podcast, really support Reading Between the Wines, really understands that a couple years ago, this was not real. This was not here. This was only up in here. This was thoughts. This was a passion. And now it's really live here in person. And I'm doing the things that I had once asked for. So for those of you who appreciate and support these platforms and know that I do this from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you so much. I don't ask anybody for a dime. You don't have to do anything. If you're a real life individual that wants to come through and have some real conversation and break through and share some stories and some experiences, DM me, text me, 609-738-0611. You work your ass off this year and you got a new product and you want to push it through and try to get through to the other side because the other people turn their back and they would not let you even, they wouldn't even write your name in a story. Forget about giving you a post. Forgetting about, you understand those are the type of people that I want to connect with. Reach out to Mr. Heron. He came on and we had a great show the other night. Spoke some real deep conversation about belief and believing in yourself and keeping it real and getting through tough situations to get to the other side. This was a real deep conversation with a real brother, so please go ahead and check him out as well. My brother, Mr. Nate Perry from Brooklyn, New York. I want to say what's up to anybody out there from New York. David Wayne Fox, thank you so much for the love on Sunday. Thank you for that whole experience. It was great. Yeah, amazing. Gina Smith, all the way from Camden, New Jersey. Thank you for supporting. Please check out my sister, Alex Coquito, all the way from Puerto Rico, my co-host. I'm his co-host, whatever you want to call it. Midnight Vibes every Saturday on his YouTube page at Alex Coquito. Alex Coquito. My friend Angela. That must mean I need to drink. I'm talking too much. Let me drink a little bit. I get so excited because this is real. All right, Alex Coquita, Angela Brinkman, thank you so much for supporting as well. And I pray that everything is going to work out so well in your favor. Roang from South Korea, Jessica Jones will serve, Onyx Blade, Shanti Refuge. She has 26 journals. Please go ahead and support my friends, We Good Media. I want to say thank you to everybody out there, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you're at. I appreciate. I don't care if it's one comment. I don't care if it's one like. I don't care if it's one view. That was never there before and it's here now. So I just want to say thank you. All right. We're going to go ahead and rewind these things. Thank you so much to people out there on Instagram. I appreciate you. Rewind this. Listen, I'm not even this. I took a couple days off. I am not even tipsy. Maybe I just need to go and continue to drink to get into the flow. Mm. As we rewind this thing, okay. So dealing with a bad breakup to the point where years later, you still feel like you wish that you could have wiped them off of the face of the earth, or you want to wipe them off of the face of the earth because you want nothing to do with them even years later. Have you ever been through such a tough situation? Maybe it's not even a relationship. Maybe it's a friendship. Maybe it's a bad business decision that went south, and you feel that, man, if I ever come across you again, if I see you in the street, I'm gonna pull up some of these bad feelings. And I'm not even gonna get up here and sit here and lie and say that there's not people that I want nothing to do with. And I was just having this conversation that some of my breakups, they were to the point where I don't want to see, or maybe they don't want to see me. But I think there might be two or three that, not that I want to wipe them off the face of the earth. I just don't want to see you at all, period. So I'm sure you don't want to see me either, and that's good. And I just pray that we continue to keep it that way. Because once it's done, it's done. And that's what I truly believe. But I'm all good for taking the past and just removing it from it, and not wishing any harm. But I just don't want to see you. You know, I wish you the best. But I don't want nothing to do with you. And that's how I feel. But people, I feel that if you feel like you still got that anger and you still got that hatred, I guess, that's not good. It's not good to hate people and be resentful, especially when they're somewhere living their life and they don't care about what you got going on, and you sitting somewhere worrying about what they got going on, and then now they got so much power over you and they still got power over you from a distance. People need to think about it. When I hear names of exes, when I hear stories, in one ear and out the other. Somebody told me something the other day and I was like, I'm good. Like, thank you for wasting your time telling me this, but it has nothing to do with what I got going on in my world because I'm on a whole nother level. So anyway, so we're here. Speaking of which, when it comes to hearing stuff that you don't want to hear and what type of level you're on and what you're going to entertain and what you're not going to entertain, who or what do you surrender to? What do you give all your time to? What do you give your devotion to? What are you surrendering to? What do you get caught up in? Um, it could be people that you're surrendering to. It could be different places. Of course, it can be materialistic things, money. It could be that job. On some other levels, it could be a lover. It could be sex. It could be all types of things that you just basically will just give into and surrender to. So all of these are just rhetorical questions. So, we don't really need to get into it, but maybe you need to get into it. Maybe I need to get into it on my private time and figure out what do you got going on? What has been taking up space in your brain? This is precious time. This is precious moments. And I need all that I can get. And I need all of my peace because I've lived so many years not having enough of it. With that being said, am I giving into the right things? Am I giving into the right people? Am I putting myself in good situations that's going to make sense and set me up for success? Or is it going to set me up for some failure and some setbacks to where I need to go back and hit that reset button and try it again? Who or what do you surrender to? Now I'm going to reach out to my special guest, Miss Liz, and maybe we'll see what she has going on and see what she has to say. Thank you so much for joining in tonight.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm keeping my fingers crossed because we have been having some connectivity issues, and I want to make sure that we have such a great experience tonight. And I hope that everyone on all of these platforms can get it. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yep, I
Okay.
can hear you.
All right. So welcome into Reading Between the Lines.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Where are you calling from tonight?
So my name is Elizabeth Moore Krause, and I am in Ventura, California. So just above Los Angeles, just below Santa Barbara.
Very nice, very nice. I have a question to ask you about California, but before I do that, I want to know, what are you drinking on tonight?
I am drinking a 2018 Napa Los,
Mm,
Los Carneros Quinoa Pinot.
okay, so you did me up on a wine, which, you know what? I gotta give you credit for that. You're calling from California, so it makes sense.
Had
You,
to
you
do it.
got some
Had to
nice
do it.
wine. I only got some 2021. Right now, my pockets are dealing with something that was bottled up in 2021. So I have some Cabernet Sauvignon, but we still doing a red tonight.
Still doing the red. Yes, absolutely.
So I heard something disturbing, which I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if you're into it or not, but now I heard that amusement parks are on the decline. Like, certain amusement parks will start closing up. Many people are really not frequenting amusement parks such as that way if you're not Disney World or something like that. So, is there an amusement park near you that's closing soon?
I have not heard. We have Magic Mountain, which is
That
about 45
Yeah,
minutes.
that's the one.
Is that the one you heard
That
closing?
I hope it's not. I'm just asking because that's one of my favorite parks, and I'm a roller coaster fanatic. So I hope that, are they doing well? I hope they're doing well.
You know, I used to love roller coaster rides, but when they get really hairy like this, I feel like I'm going to fall out. I lift up out of the seat and it's like, oh, uncomfortable. I like the drop. You know, they lift you up and then you don't know when you're going to be dropped.
Well,
That's what I like.
you kind of know when you're going to be dropped. You think you don't know?
No,
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the crazy rides that pull you up and you don't know when they're going to drop you.
right,
No,
right.
absolutely not. Nope. That is one thing that I want no parts of. I don't do that. And I don't like the linear induction mode coasters, which basically are the coasters where you have no idea when it's going to shoot off because they pushed a button and you just get
Right.
blindsided. I don't like them.
Yeah.
I mean, I do them, but I don't like them. And I'm probably cursing out the person that's next to me because I told them that I don't like them, but we got on it anyway. And now I'm here. Same thing with the rides that you like. I think the last experience I had was I went to one of the Disney's. I don't know. It used to be called Hollywood Studios. It's something else now.
Universal Studios.
So it's the Tower of Terror. You
Yeah.
know, it's a family thing. You know, it's supposed to be family. Well, we get up there and you don't know when it's going to drop, and I'm saying all kinds of F words and apologizing because there's little kids and families, and I'm trying to tell them I'm so sorry, and cursing, and, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but so that was my last experience with those types of things, and yeah, that's it.
I love the pit in the gut when and what we take up some coins and put on each knee or each thigh,
Hmm.
and you can see it suspended before it catches up onto your legs. So
Yeah.
when you drop, the
Mhm.
coins are still suspended. But yeah, I'm over roller coasters. Although there is an upside down roller coaster, the Ninja at Six Flags, and the wheels are up above, and it's a very smooth ride. It's not as scary as all the big drops and everything. So
When I was there, like maybe 5, 6 years ago, maybe even longer than that.
hmm
I was way longer than that. They had something called the X and X2. I
yeah,
did
I don't know. I wouldn't ride it.
I
I
didn't
don't know.
I didn't get on it, and I kind of regret it. I should have got on it, but I since then have rode roller coasters that are like it that have come out since then. But yeah. So anyway, so I just hope that that park is doing good because I really would not like that to close up. So
No, I think it's still open. Yeah, definitely.
all right. So from California, I'm from New Jersey. I know that the weather is wonderful where you're at. You're probably complaining about it, but I would enjoy it every single day.
Yeah, no, I'm a native Californian. In fact, my granddaughter is fourth generation, and
Oh,
we live by the coast, which is nice, but we're just parched here. I remember we had seasons here, and we just don't anymore. And so I'm not complaining because, I'm grateful to live here, but I really like the cold.
I wish New Jersey
My,
was didn't have any seasons but summer, but it seems like we only have two, winter and spring. And then you get,
yeah,
am I right with that winter and spring? Maybe winter and fall.
probably a winter, autumn, maybe.
Yeah, winter and
I,
fall. That's big. And then we get teased with summer for a little bit, and then it's back again.
yeah, yeah,
So as we talk about that type of stuff, let's move on to the matter at hand. We can get all caught up in these things, especially after having 13% wine. I'm not quite sure what the percentage is on yours, but whenever I drink red, it gets a little interesting. So we'll see what happens tonight.
all right.
I just want to
What
let
have you
you,
got for me?
I'm already leaning and leaning on my handle, so we're already there. But so your book, Three Sisters, 3 Weeks, and Three Cunts Still Talking. So I heard a little bit about it. So can you
Yes,
tell us about this book here?
yeah. It is. It's as soon as I'm gonna say this word and people go, oh, it's a memoir, but it's a funny memoir. You know, most memoirs, they've had a terrible, awful experience, and I'm not discounting that at all. But this is my book is about. I take a trip with my two sisters,
Mm-hmm.
and we go to Ireland, England, and Scotland together for 3 weeks, and we end up still talking. We don't kill each other. I promised Mom I would not. I'm a woman of my word, so I did not kill either sister. But it's a fun jaunt, but things come up. So just to kind of go back a little bit, I start out talking about a sister tent. We grew up camping, and I talk about this right away in the book, how we grew up camping all the time. And there were 7 of us in the family, and in camping in Southern California, especially around the Sierra Nevada, storms would come up out of nowhere, and we'd have to jam into the family tent, and we'd always end up laughing. Our family always found something to laugh about. So when taking this trip, I proposed to my sisters, how about if we have a metaphorical sister tent? So in case some kind of storm, metaphorical storm that we bring upon ourselves happens,
gotcha.
We've got this place. You know, we know to laugh when others wouldn't laugh. We know to stick together when others wouldn't stick together. And it's we're tested a few times, but we work through it because we're dedicated to each other. And in fact, one person was helping me early on. She goes, I keep wanting to know why you're taking this trip. Why? And I said, for us, it's why not. You know, we're deliberate in what we're doing. We're thinking about.
I like that
we
word.
just want to do this together.
I like that.
Ahead.
I like that word, deliberate. But
I do.
Go ahead.
And it resonates. Yeah, but it resonates with how I feel as a sister, as a human, and as now that I am at the youth of old age. Before I was at the old age of youth, but now I'm at the youth of old age. But
all right, I gotta dissect that.
You come to a point when you start thinking about things. Who do I want in my life? What do I want to do in my life? And who's going to support me? Who am I going to support? You know, where's this symbiotic relationship? And my sisters are 2 of those people who support me. So
that's good.
We took off, and a couple of times there were some tears in our sister tent, but we decided to stick together. So, and that's what we did. And let me tell you, Lauren, a lot of people would say, I would never travel with a sibling. And I get that. A lot of people wouldn't. So we're kind of an anomaly, and so is my book.
I know traveling with family can be something. I mean, I've done it in the past, and there's always, I tell everybody, whenever there's a family vacation or a travel, there's always a breakdown where there's going to be some disruption involved, or as I say, there's going to be some cursing involved. Somebody might go back and forth. It always happens. And I kind of laugh a little bit. Like, just look around Disney. Go to Disney And whenever you see a family going back and forth, you're like, okay, at least I'm not the only one, because yours probably was in the car. Yours was probably at the hotel before you got there, or simple things like that. Wherever it's life, and when you're dealing with people, things happen.
They do. And what's so funny is that people say, and I keep journals when I travel, but I don't do anything with them. And I kept the journal on this trip, of course, and I just threw it up on my bookshelf, and I thought, I'm never going to do anything with it. And then, of course, came COVID, and then I had recently retired, and I thought, I'm just going to type up my journal, and 2 years later, it's this book. But no intention whatsoever, never. And
That's
even
amazing.
though I was a professor of English, people think, oh, you'd write a book. That was never in my wheelhouse. I never intended, but this is really magical, and being with my sisters, and we laugh when a lot of other people wouldn't laugh. We like to say that our sister tent had these strong stakes of laughter, dedication, caring. So all these tent stakes, but I tell you, a couple times it was ready. It was ready to all fall apart, rip apart. But we hung in there, and we're still talking, Larry. And still, even now, we talk to each other every day. The three of us share 10 points of gratitude.
Oh, that's amazing. That's a lot. I was talking to my friend, Friday, Saturday, and it was terrible. But I had to actually say, it's been so long since we spoke, and I understand that if you don't want to be my friend anymore because of my busy schedule, what I got going on, and it's not easy. But to be able to get love back from someone who says I understand and I got you, that meant a lot to me. So we all got things going on, our lives, children, work, this, that, the next, the other. It's so hard to even sometimes have time for yourself. And for you to be able to have a dedication to speak to your sisters every single day, and not only to just speak, but to share, points and moments and take time out, that says a lot. So I commend you for that. That's very good.
Thank you. And we weren't always friends. I mean, this came later in life, and we shared some really tough times with each other. It's hard being three. Are you a sibling? Do you have sisters, brothers?
Yes, I have a brother who passed away, and I have a sister. So there were three of us. Now it's two. And again, I'm in my own world, which is just enough on its own. And I struggle on a day to day basis with critical versus important. And that's tough when it comes to who am
I think you're very human. I think anybody who's aware of the day that's going on. So, we hear all the time, life is short, life is short. I change that to, what is the width of the day? I'm going to enjoy the width of the day instead of looking at life being short. I've got this day ahead of me. And what is it going to look like? Do I finish everything? Do I accomplish what I want? No, but it just makes me a lot more aware of what's going on. You've mentioned this before, how you like to be and how you consider being the master of your own mind.
Yeah, that's
and I appreciate that, because a lot of people are uncomfortable when you have, or any of us have come to a point in our life where we take a stand. And friends will fall away, but new friends will come.
Yeah, absolutely.
People will support you. Yeah. Others who were there will no leave. Longer can.
Yeah.
But in the width of the day, if they're not there for me, I can't give back to them. Why? My well's going to run empty, and so is yours, Laren. So,
and I feel so selfish sometimes, but it's like, I want to spend as much time as I can by myself. And I know that sounds horrible sometimes, and some of my family and friends, they don't like it. But when I'm by myself, I recharge and I'm ready to come back and, Just like yesterday, I didn't do the show last night because I needed to recharge and I had overextended myself and invited. I just had a lot going on. And I'm like, all right, you need to make sure that you cut that time out for yourself because if not, it's not going to be good.
No, it's interesting what you say is that, it sounds selfish, but I think that's such an old narrative that we've come to believe when it's really about, like when you're on a plane and they say, listen, if the air oxygen drops, you got to put your air mask on before you can help your child.
Yeah.
And if you don't put your air mask on first to help yourself, your show is not going to be there. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with taking time for yourself to be a better you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm learning how to do because and in that when you talked about becoming a master of your own mind, your mind is very tricky and your mind will play tricks on you and people who are no good all of a sudden start to look good and this over here starts to become this and it's not that and it's very very important. Like De La Sean said, thank you so much. I see you out there. It says self-care is a requirement and it's not selfish.
Agreed.
But the thing is that so many people,
your viewers, your listeners, that agree. And other people close to you might say, well, you're being selfish. But here are people out in your audience that are saying, saying that, but the undertone is, we support you. We care about you. I met a woman not too long ago in our complex, and her husband had just passed, and I was trying to be friendly and receptive, and I caught early on that it wasn't going to be a deep friendship. I'd be there for her and such. And I come to find out she was a psychotherapist. And at one point, she sent me a text, and she goes, Liz, I'm just seeing a lot of red flags. I don't think that this friendship is going to grow. And I even told my husband, David, that I'm there to support her, but I don't feel, this bond. And I responded back to her and said, okay, whatever your red flags are, that's fine. I'm not going to take that away from you. But I see more of the ripple effect. So, Laren, it's like you have a pond and you throw a rock out there, and it's that first ripple that's closest to you that care about you. And then the farther out the ripple are those that are in your life, but they might not be in a position where they care about your life. They care more about what you can do for them.
You better say that. If you didn't say anything else, that's the message that we got at today. And again, I always say that this podcast is so much bigger than me. I have no idea what we're going to speak about. I come on, I say what I say. I, have certain guidelines that we follow and we go through. And it surprises me every single time that some special guests come on and they speak to exactly what I'm going through at the specific time. And tonight is an example that you are that one. Like, yes, there are people that want to take from. There are people that don't want me to succeed. There are so many things, and I have to be very careful at this moment. And not to make it all about me, but I open myself up to everyone so that they can come through. But I just got to be very careful about the people who want.
Yeah.
But also, when people come through, which I'm learning, it's a lesson for me. I just went through something recently and come out of it on the other side so thankful, so much better. It wasn't easy. It's hard, and I'm still going through things. But I won't make that mistake again. I just keep telling myself, and I won't make that mistake again. And thank you so much for showing me, because of the mistakes that I made in the past. This one could have been very disastrous, but you've overcome.
Yeah.
So thank you for all of that. But
yeah.
Now,
I remember when this might be something that helps you too. It helped my dad. My late dad was really a mentor to me, and I didn't go to college until I was age 42. And I'm very much a late bloomer. I deal with the imposter syndrome. I deal with self-doubt. I can encourage others, but when it comes to me, boy, self-doubt is my middle name. And remember, So there's a website students can go to. It's called Rate, R-A-T-E, myprofessor.com.
Mm-hmm.
And all my ratings were great. You know, we love Professor Kraft, on and on. And then there was one review that wasn't good. And I called my dad all upset. So he said, all right, get a blank piece of paper and get a pen and close your eyes. When you do, put a mark on the paper and then open your eyes and tell me what you see. And so I see a tiny mark. He goes, but that's just it. You're missing all the good in your life.
Right. Yeah.
When you focus on that one thing.
My life story.
Yep. Yeah.
I would
and it's easy to do.
I would ruin such beautiful situations over one single isolated situation, or somebody who was not even worth the time of the day, considering where we're at here today. We're ruining so many beautiful situations, so I get it.
Yeah. But see, I live with my mantra is I have no regrets. And in my book I talk about my ex-late husband, and I don't go back into a lot of my past, but just enough to explain a few things.
Yeah.
And I have no regrets. I got a beautiful son from him, and although his biological father has passed and such, but if I hadn't been with him, I wouldn't have had this wonderful boy that I have, my wonderful son.
That's very powerful for you to say that and be able to say it so confidently.
I believe it. I believe it, and I don't have regrets. And you know, Lynn, I had a teacher tell me I was stupid in 5th grade, and that became my truth. I believed that.
Yeah.
And that affected my life. But you know what it also did? When I became an educator in my 50s, I could connect with students, the underdog, those who were struggling, those who dealt with the same things. So I go back and look at that and say, you know what? Who knew that was going to be a gift all those years later?
That is so powerful. Like when people hear things as a child, like you remember what that teacher said that did something to you. On the flip side of it, it was so weird. But when my 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Gress, I don't even know if anybody remembers her, but people who are in my neighborhood and know, she pulled me aside and she said, you know what, Laren, this is not you. You are this person. And because of that, I'm giving you this award. And I actually got like a caring and sharing award. And I know that's so silly because I remember that. But
it's
she
not
told
silly. It's not
you know, but
silly.
I sat back and I said, this woman actually sees something that I don't see. And she always told me that I was different. So
and you know, so many times different is looked at as a deficit, and different is not a deficit. If we all sang the same damn song,
exactly,
you know, it would be a boring world. But
how many times do we get into relationships, right? And oh my God, the same thing that I like. Oh, okay, so that means that this is a sign. Oh my God, you like this, and you like that. So then 2 people get matched up with either they're the same zodiac sign or they like the same stuff.
Yeah.
And then after a while, it's like boring over there doing something that I don't know how to do. Now that all of a sudden it turn on, and now you got people faking a lie and playing games and whatever. I guess that's the way this world is, right? That's how we are today.
Yeah. My husband and I just celebrated 39 years. But
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. But it was work. It wasn't just, oh my gosh, you know, we've had to put our work into it and dig in our heels.
Absolutely.
And in fact, we just went through a refresher 5 sessions with a counselor to say, hey, okay, let's see where we are. And I'm really fortunate because he supports me in my book, in my marketing. I spend a lot of time in it. Oh my gosh, Laren, no one told me how much time it takes to market your self-published book.
I'm not getting into it. I'm not getting it. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's overwhelming. But, you can really suck you in, can't it?
Yeah. And the thing about it is that I tell people all the time, be careful, because don't try to come in so quick and don't try to take over what somebody else has already had, because it takes time. And if you didn't put that time and energy in to make it work, How dare you ever think that you can come in and take something? And that's when I talk about people taking stuff from me, because
Yeah.
you don't know what it takes to make this work. You just think, oh, just because you do this or do that, all of a sudden it's gonna work. You have no idea. So please be
Yeah.
very
And
careful.
when you do something well, and it looks easy. And it's like, I can
But
do
they don't
that.
see the other 1,000 times that you failed just to get that one thing that looks well.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly right. And I saw a friend who has my book, and they said, "Oh my gosh, Liz, I'm so sorry I haven't read your book yet." I said, "Never apologize. I'm fine that you haven't read my book yet. Don't feel guilty. I don't want everybody reading my book at one time. Read it when you're supposed to read it.
Right.
And just don't. It's not about me. I want to get to know people, Laren. And if people come to know me, then they might be interested in my book. If they are, they are. If they're not, because I'm not my book. I'm me. If my humor, my sarcasm, my smart ass mouth, can I say that in the book? Sure. And they'll come to know me that way. But it's people before product, and I really believe that.
Wow, that is a good. You know what? Maybe I'll have you on my next book. I love quotes. People, say it again. I like that.
People before product. But I learned this from a gentleman, the prophet on TV. He's, what was his name? I can't remember his name right now. But I learned that from him, that if you don't put people first before your product, you're going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Or Marcus Lehman. Yeah.
That's where I'm at today in my world. It's like I come to the realization that whatever is going to happen is going to happen. I'm done with trying to get in the way and try to make it work. And I fight with myself. That's the whole thing, becoming a master of your own mind. Whatever, listen, okay, it is what it is. I when I say surrender, it's truly it. Like I've had a breakthrough where it's like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't know what's going to happen. Listen, just I'm here. I'm here to just do whatever, and that's it.
I'm here for the journey. Yeah. And
Cause
you know what? And one of my gratitudes, I think today it was like, bring on the day. All right, I'll take it. Because I love being alive. I mean, what's the alternative? But also, Lauren, I know where I've come from, and I look at that, and those are important footsteps for me that I carry with me. And they just, if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going. I know everybody says that. But you look at the steps of the day, and you can kind of, I'm really good at putting up boundaries now. But no, not going to do that. Not going to listen to that. I had a girlfriend send me something today, a very close girlfriend. She goes, "You might want to look at this." I go, No, I don't. I'm not in the mood for that. And
exactly.
She reached out, "Thank you. Thank you for being honest." So I think having boundaries are really important.
It's so important. It's so important. I have so many people who won't speak to me, won't do this, won't do that because of things that I won't participate in, I won't partake in. So, hey.
Far ripple, they're the farthest out, the farthest out ripple.
Absolutely.
Let them be there. You just can't make everybody happy, and I'm learning that too. I learned that as an educator. You can't make everybody happy. And I would tell my students at the first day of class, "Listen, this is how I think, this is how I teach, this is how the class is conducted. And if this is not what you like, go find somebody else. It doesn't hurt my feelings." And I've got for my book, I've got someone who put a 1, 2, 3. But that means they read it, Laren. They have an opinion about it. I'm thrilled.
And you know what I've learned too? People that are no good for you, right? Meaning that they don't like you. Not necessarily that they're no good for you, but they don't like you. That's part of the plan, and that's part of the process too. Like, you're gonna need some people that write a bad review. You're gonna need somebody that comes on and might write a few, comments that are out of line, because that is set up to push you to get to the next level and do what you are destined to do. The minute that you start taking things so personal, oh, they did this to me. Oh, why?
You can't do that. You
Yeah.
can't do that.
Mm.
Yeah. And that was with the dot on the paper that my dad told me. He said, if you believe in all the good, that changes you just as much if you believe in the bad. And you need to step away from what about you be true. And I had this above my computer phone. What you think about me is none of my business.
None of my concern. You know what the
It's
you know what
none
the
of my business.
you know what the worst thing is? What thinking back what your father said, and this is so real and so profound. Sometimes, he said that there's a little bit of bad there, but then there's good, and what weighs at most. A lot of that is inside us. So we spend time focusing on that one little thing because whatever that one little thing, that's inside of us sometimes. So if we get out of our own way, this is what I talk about becoming a master of your own mind. Get out of your own way. And that little stupid stuff that you think about yourself, the people on the outside are not even thinking that at all. That's you being your own worst enemy. And that's what we get hung up on, and that's what we, you know.
And that's why I can really honestly tell you, Larry, whatever anybody writes about my book or how few stars or how many stars, it's still none of my business. I didn't put my book out there to please people because if I did, it would have destroyed me.
Yeah.
I wrote this book
to please yourself.
That maybe some people will connect to it. Maybe some people will enjoy it. Maybe there'll be a touchstone for them throughout, and good. But if I wrote this to please people, I would have failed before I even started.
What's going on, Nate Perry? Thank you for joining. I really want you to take some time and let everybody know where they can get your book at, the different social media handles you are on. I know you're on Instagram, of course. I'm sure you're on Facebook. Are you on Twitter?
No, I was on Twitter, but to be honest, Larry, I'm just overwhelmed trying to keep up with Facebook and Instagram. So I had to pick my poison. I picked those two. But it's Liz Krause, author. And my book is on Amazon. You get it at Barnes & Noble. And I encourage you to write a review. A lot of people don't realize what a review does to sell a book. And one person told me the other day, she says, if I see a book with all 5, I'm suspicious. But if I see a book with, various stars, then I'm thinking, okay, I'm curious. So, put what you want, But again, it's 3 sisters, 3 weeks, 3 countries, still talking. And you don't have to be a sister to enjoy it, but a lot of sisters have connected with it. And I'm a middle sister. I'm a middle. I've got a brother, sister, me, brother, sister. So I'm in the middle of 5, and then in the middle of the 3 sisters. So I have a couple issues.
That's amazing. Now I have a question because I know it's almost time, but I know you mentioned California, which I'm so obsessed with California right now. How far are you from the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
Oh, it depends on the traffic on the 405. But if we just go on a regular day and say the 405, about 45 minutes.
Okay, so I'm praying because I need to stay in prayer because I need to get there. I have some unfinished business that can be conducted at the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So I have a feeling that I will be there very soon. So if you're only 45 minutes away, I would love to connect with you. I know there's another author that's close by. Maybe a little lunch or brunch or something like that sounds nice.
That would be lovely. And you know what? I love this time of my life. I feel like I'm ripe to just have more friends come in and learn about more people, and they add depth to me. And I was just thrilled that you included me on your podcast. Just really. And like I said, I'm up for the adventure. And I'm just really honored. And we think along the same. You know, we were talking earlier about metacognition. You know, thinking about thinking, and that's what you do. You think about thinking, and I honor that.
I gotta think now. I gotta think now because I used to not think and I used to just say shit and it would be a problem. But I think now.
Yeah.
But I remember somebody told me, Laren, there's no coincidence. Like, calm down. And I have to still remember the words that she told me. She said it's no coincidence that you did what you did. There's no coincidence that you have 2 children. There's no coincidence that that relationship didn't work. And what you're getting ready to do in the next couple days, there's no coincidence behind it. So every single person that you meet in your life, it is all set up and is all part of the process and all a part of the plan. Now, what I struggle with is I try to get in the way of it and I try to make things work the way that I want to make it work. And then when it don't work, then I'm going back and forth. But there's no coincidence that I am gravitating closer towards your area. Just going to say that, staying prayerful. And there's no coincidence that you are here on this podcast so close to that destination anyway. So this is all part of the plan.
And you know what else I learned? That even no is an answer.
Oh, absolutely.
We always thought, you know, I grew up in a very strong Christian home and you're always praying and praying. You want this answer. Until I was taught later on, you know what? No is an answer too.
You know what? You just struck something. Sometimes when God tells you no, that's what that means.
Yeah, can you imagine? But I'm a lot like you. Listen, I got this great idea. If you just listen, I'm going to get this all taken care of. You know, I get in my own way too, and try to encourage God to think along the same lines.
And listen, and you know what? What I've learned is that he's like, okay, you got this. All right, let's go. I told you once that this was not good. All right, go ahead. All right, here it is again. Didn't I tell you it wasn't good? And it's so many times that I bump my head and I'd be like, you know what, you're right. Hey, listen. Now I'm at the point where I just go with the flow. Listen, whatever happens.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. Have you ever heard of the country singer Charlie Rich? No,
but I have a note now. I will definitely take a look at that.
He sang the song "The Most Beautiful Woman in the World," but he has a great song called "I'm Gonna Rollin' with the Flow." I'm going with the flow.
Going with the flow.
And it's really good. The lyrics are great, and you just made me think about it because I love music. Music is my mother tongue.
What's his name again?
Charlie Rich.
Charlie Rich.
Rollin' with the flow. I think that's what it is.
Charlie Rich.
It's really good. And I'm into lyrics and the meaning behind them, and I love to listen to. I'm a big Jimi Hendrix fan, and I love to listen to the drumming, the backbeat drumming. I like everybody from Sinatra to Greg Allman to Motown.
You know what I love about music? I love music when you listen to it and it's your favorite song and you play it 1,000 times over and over and over again. You're like a lunatic. You get it, you understand it. But then all of a sudden you be like, oh my God, I never heard that sound before.
Right.
You're like, oh, I heard that new like instrument, or why didn't I hear that before? I love that when you learn something new about an old song that's been out forever. And me, it's all about sampling. So when people play a song and I'm like, nope, I've heard that before. I heard that before. Let me go back and do some research. And then I research the old one and I mash it together. And I love that. Yeah.
I think it's Hey Joe, Jimi Hendrix, and the backbeat, the drumming on that song. It was on the radio the other day. My husband and I were in the car, and I turned the radio really loud. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Just listen to the drums. Listen to the backbeat and the rhythm. It's exciting." He goes, "Yeah, I know you and your music, but yeah, I'm totally with you."
Yeah.
And especially if he's not in the car, I just hit replay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. When no one's in a car with me, which happens most of the time. You know, it's a whole situation.
I perseverate on one song and over and over and over again. Yeah. But anyway, that's kind of pretty much me.
What a great conversation. Thank you for going down this journey with me. I didn't even get a chance to even ask the burning question. I'm gonna do it. 5 minutes, we can get through it.
Okay.
We already talked about it, so I'm sure you're going to answer it so well. But is it easy for you to let go of things that are unimportant in your world? Things that at the moment is not really relevant. You know, it's like you said earlier today, someone will tell you something and you're like, no, I'm not interested. So I think I already know the answer. We already did this, but
Yeah. And some things are a little harder to let go than others. It depends what kind of stake I have in the effort. But with girlfriends that I've had to let go of, just kind of working through that. But the older I get, the easier it is because if I'm not mentally healthy, I've got to take care of myself that way so I can put the oxygen mask on. Those I love.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Great words. Summed it up 100%. I couldn't even say any more. I agree with it 100%. So crazy that a lot of these things that we're speaking about is the rhythm that I'm living in right now. So, hey, that's what it is.
Great. No accident. Hey, thanks for having me on, Larry. I'm honored. I'm grateful. I've got a couple of friends that would really do wonders. And she started watching it first. I don't know if she's still on. It says Memorist.
Okay.
3. I'm going to recommend her. She's been through some dynamic experiences, and I think she'd be a great guest.
Oh, absolutely.
Just off the top of my head.
Yeah, have her text me too. That way she'll get to me quicker by text message.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Thank you.
Thanks for the privilege of you hosting me.
Thank you so much, and stay tuned. Maybe in short 30 to 60 days. Who knows?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see. We'll give it a try. You got my number.
Take care. Right, take care of yourself. Good night. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Well, very speechless. I have nothing to say except that, you know what? You never know what happens. I go through this process and I just say, hey, it is what it is. This guest is going to come on. Whatever you have works, make it work. And I never know what's going to happen. I never know how these conversations are going to flow. I never know what people are going to say. And this lets me know that where I'm at right now in my life, the things that have going on right now, and to have a complete stranger, a complete guest come into the Reading Between the Wines 4-on-1 situation and come through. Make sense. We make friends. We make family. It's part of the process. It's part of the plan. Thank you so much to people out there on Facebook, Instagram. I saw so many people out there. My brother Nate Perry came through. I saw De La Sean come through. So many people came through, in and out. Thank you so much. Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. Please go ahead and support on TikTok at Laren Gaines, DLive, Twitch. Check me out on Daily Motion if you want to see small little clips of the show. You can check that out there. Everything at Laren Gaines. Please go ahead and click that link above all of my social media platforms. And you go inside of Volume 1.5 Deliberation Remix Journal. You can purchase my new book for $7.99. And again, I spoke about becoming a master of your own mind. And this is a transformational journey towards. It ain't easy. And I'll be the first one to sit here and tell you it ain't easy. I still today go through these struggles of trying to become the master of my own mind. Once you become the master of your own mind, your brain is so much smarter. It's on point, and it says, okay, so you figured out this little trap, you figured out this little loophole. Let's go ahead and throw something else in there to try to trick you and try to throw you up. Let me let you hear this conversation as someone speaking about you. Let me have something come across your screen that used to bother you in the past. Let me have specific sounds and specific smells come through to take you off and then just derail you 100%. Because I want you to go back to being comfortable. I want you to go back to doing the things that you were used to doing. What you're doing, becoming your master of your own mind, you're doing something different. You're doing something new. I don't understand this. So your mind can get a little scared and get a little tricky. And now you're going back and forth and you're fighting internally. So this is a journey towards a healthier mindset. It ain't over. It ain't ever over. And you'll learn that by checking out my new book, $7.99. Click that link above and you'll figure it out. Listen, I'm going through this whole process just like each and every one of you are going through. and I write about my past, tell you a little bit about my present, situation where we're in right now, and I leave it open for you to go ahead and write your future as we continue to write this remix journal, because it is a journal. Tomorrow, I have a very special guest coming in, my friend, Miss Regina, aka Honestly Vegan. She's getting ready to do some big things, and we got some big announcements tomorrow. So check me out, check Regina out, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 411 podcast. I have got to give it up for the executive producer, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing me to come out here and give you all this reading between the wines show one more time in life. Because without him, none of this will be possible. And there's no way that I would even have myself together, have myself on up point, doing what I'm doing without him giving me the strength to get through this, because it could have gone so many different ways. But because I have another opportunity, I have an obligation, and I understand what I'm meant to do. So I'm here doing what I'm doing. And with that, I truly do thank those people who come in, and thank the people who have left as well. Because during that, you give me an opportunity to be just me, and that's just me. And if that means that I have enough time to nurture and to protect and to grow another friendship or another relationship because you walked away and now you gave me enough time to be me, I'm okay with that. I no longer try to force and work and push things that are of my doing. Listen, God, whatever you want to happen, let it happen. If this one's supposed to stay, if this one's supposed to go, it is what it is. I'm here to go along with the journey, go along with it. And whatever you want to happen, happens. And we just keep on going and making it do what it do. Thank you so much. And again, tonight, we were sampling La Finca Cabernet Sauvignon. And I remember last week or the other week, I was just flowing and pushing through so quick with the label. And I'm like, all right, I better slow this down a little bit so that the camera can catch this. And I know the lighting and some of that stuff impacts it, but there you go. Thank you so much, Nate Perry, Brooklyn, New York. Thank you so much, David Wayne Fox, Brooklyn, New York. I appreciate this done. Please like, comment, share, tag, do whatever you need to do to let them know what we got going on here. Reading Between the Wines, 411 podcast. So yeah, that's that 13%. 411 podcast, Black Diamond Productions. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Appreciate you.